Everybody, what's up? So this is part 6 of our Solidity tutorial, and this is going to be the kind of graduation of the beginner Solidity tutorial series. This one's really important. It talks about we're going to be making a bank smart contract, and all you can do is deposit and withdraw funds from this bank, but we're going to have a mapping of users, and it's going to be pretty cool. You guys are going to feel pretty confident about your Solidity skills after this tutorial. So let's change this up a little bit. Let's do contract bank. Now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a mapping. We're gonna make a mapping of addresses to uint 256, and we're gonna call this accounts, and it's gonna be public. So basically, again, we're gonna have this address here that stores a value of uint 256. So we're gonna also make a modifier called has funds, and this modifier has funds is going to verify that the person who calls the function that this modifies actually has the amount that they're trying to withdraw. So require that amount is less than or equal to accounts of message.sender. So remember, this here returns a uint in this map here. And then we're going to bounce back with does not have sufficient funds, and then ends with that little underscore. Cool. So let's make our first function and call it deposit. So we're going to make a deposit function, and it's going to be a payable function, of course. And this function can receive ether, and accounts, we're going to keep track of the amount of ether that this contract is storing for each person who deposits. Here we have accounts of message.sender plus equals message.value. So when the person sends ether to the contract receives it, but we take care of the logic of making sure we understand how much each address actually has stored with us. So that's how this deposit function works. Now we're going to have a withdraw function, and here's where we actually need to use that modifier here. So withdraw, and then they're going to pass in an amount. And public has funds is the modifier here. We're going to make sure that they actually have the funds that they're withdrawing, and we're going to pass it here the amount. Now we are going to cast, once we verified, of course, that this modifier has checked out and they do have the funds that they're trying to withdraw, we are going to call here message.sender.transfer. We have to cast it as payable, and then we're going to transfer the amount. And this transfer function transfers from our smart contract back to the message.sender. So that's how this works in Solidity. And then we're going to have a last function called check assets, and this is just going to return the balance of the smart contract, and we're going to use this view keyword, and it returns a uint, of course. It just returns address this.balance, and we talked about this in a previous tutorial. Great. So this is actually all we need to make a bank smart contract. Just these 3 functions, this mapping and this modifier. Isn't that cool? So pretty simple stuff. We're going to compile it, and we're going to deploy it, and we're going to play around with it. So let's deploy this. Now here we have the deposit function, we have the withdraw function, accounts, and check assets. So let us deposit. Let's go to a wallet that has ether. We're going to deposit 6 ether. So that transaction went through. As we can see here, transaction went through. Now we're going to check assets of the bank. The bank currently has 6 ether. We can see that right here. Great. Now let's move to another account. Let's move to this account, and we will this time deposit 8 ether. Now let's check assets. And yeah, we see that now we have 14 ether stored in the bank. Let's check how much assets this specific account has. 8. Wow, who could have predicted? Our code is working just fine. Now let's try to withdraw. So let's withdraw an amount. Let's withdraw here. We'll copy this value, paste in this, and then make it 7. So let's withdraw 7 ether with this account. And it worked. Now the assets adjusted to 7 ethers left in the total supply. The amount in this specific account is 8. And yeah, so pretty cool stuff. It all ended up working the way that we originally intended on it working. Let's try to withdraw more than we actually have in the contract. Let's try to withdraw 10 ether from this account that does not have it. Well, we get a revert. Let's see, transact bank withdraw occurred, VM error revert. And yeah, it got reverted because of our modifier requiring that they have the sufficient funds in order to withdraw. So this contract is completely working and works as a bank. Isn't that fun? We've made our first mini project of a contract. And yeah, you guys should be pretty proud of yourselves that you made it through this whole series. In the next tutorial, we're going to talk about a roadmap for you to progress your skills as a Solidity smart contract developer. So catch me in the next video. I'll see you there.